Alright, I just need to do my top 5 real quick, but shit, I can like finish it while we're live.
Yeah, and I don't have to start it the second either. We can.
Filling out this form for I have to get a security clearance this summer, and the form is like brutal.
What are you doing?
You have to put in like I'm doing this consulting job. I do a lot of defense projects, so you have to get a DoD clearance.
Oh damn, that's nice. Dude, I'm trying.
Yeah,
so
it's a
hard to
pain.
find internship. Yeah,
It's brutal.
so annoying. All right. Let's.
I have college meals, right?
Yep. Preview of the Mario movie.
Is it this week that it comes out?
Oh, it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow?
I already got tickets.
Did?
Yes.
That.
All right. I don't know what I'm waiting on. You ready to go? Oh wait.
Yeah, I'm ready to roll.
I open up my. I hate when you open up your phone. You just like completely forget what you're gonna do, and then you just autopilot into other things.
How Twitter just like appears.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I'm on Twitter. All right. I'm speaking of Twitter. I'm gonna tweet out that we're live.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna post on my story, and then we're gonna go.
With me. Instagram. Talk about the women's one at all?
Yeah, we can. We can do it. I can
Just
do it in
like
my college corner.
Okay. It's just been like out of control. Talking about the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark stuff. Trash talk.
Yeah. We can get to it. All right. Now let me put it on my Snapchat. Sorry, I'm taking so long. I'm moving very slow.
Right? Oh, you're good.
That looks like. Oh yeah. Let's look. I think we've done that one before, but we can definitely do it again. Talk about fonts. Oh. All right. I like this one. All right.
Like that one.
Thank you. All right, let me take a sip of water and I'm ready to go. Look at. Oh wait, you can't go to the stream. You can look at my water bottle because it's all green. Just.
Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. Must not be much of a delay because that was pretty quick.
I was looking at it before, but I don't
Oh.
know. I don't think there's that much of a delay. All right, you ready? All right, let's get this started in 3, 2, 1. Oh wait, say something real quick. Let me make sure the audio works.
Hello.
All right, cool.
Just good on YouTube.
All right, sweet. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
You guys doing?
Well, Chris, we did it again. From the guys who brought you the 2021 Super Bowl champion to now the 2023 men's national champion. Out of big games, we kind of get our shit right sometimes. So
We've done well. Well, I'm not
Yeah.
going to take any credit for this one. This was all you.
So
Obviously, we're talking about UConn winning the title.
Yes.
My bracket was atrocious.
So-
as a podcast, you did correctly pick the winner.
So if you look, the tournament challenge, the one for the free T-shirt, was won by myself, and that's no fun. I already have a T-shirt and a sweatshirt, and I'm the host. I want that merch out there, so I'm giving it to Kieran Talele. He also picked UConn. He was in second place, so congrats to Kieran. And I'm sending him text updates of the options to pick from now. So big round of applause, everyone that did it. Thank you for joining. And hopefully next year.
We had a really good pool this year. A lot of people in there. So obviously it's more fun the more people we get. So yeah, thanks for everyone who actually joined.
Yep, and thanks to people sharing it with their friends. I know my dad sent it to a couple coworkers and stuff. And funny enough, my dad didn't even pick UConn. He could have won the tournament. All right. Well, speaking of UConn, let's talk about the national championship game itself. It was a close game at the beginning. The Aztecs went up 10-8, and then after that, it was pretty much all UConn. There was a scare at the end. It was like 50-56.
Within 5.
I was nervous within the last 10 minutes, but around the 4-minute mark, it was kind of UConn's to lose. It was pretty much done for. Exciting game, Chris. The people I was watching with, I mean, I was invested and excited just because of my dad's love for UConn and wanting them to win so badly. But with as a bipartial viewer, did you enjoy this game? Did you find it fun?
I mean, I had a couple bets going in on UConn, so I enjoyed it from that standpoint because they were so dominant. If I didn't have those bets, I had no rooting interest. I mean, I guess it's always cool to see a team like dominate the rest of their competition, but I fired away a tweet about this earlier on the Twitter account that like in March, it's very exciting at the start of the tournament when we see like a lot of upsets. At some point, we could have too many upsets where we're actually prevented from seeing the best basketball. Like, imagine if Bama made it all the way. Like, I was happy when Bama lost because I did not want them to win. I think a Bama UConn final would have been way more entertaining.
Yeah, I agree, and you're right. The upsets. Everyone loves an upset until there's a 5 and a 4 seed in the finals, and I thought people complaining about that were losers though. Like it's still March. It's still college basketball. Anything can happen. It's a 1-game playoffs, and we still had great games. You look at the San Diego State FAU game was great. That was a 1-point game, buzzer beater at the end for San Diego State. So that, I mean, there were still close games, and it's just my feeling about that is, well, if they were truly the best team, then they wouldn't have lost to San Diego State. You know, if they were truly the best team, they wouldn't have gotten upsetted. So,
of course,
that's really how I kind of just end it. You can complain about the upsets and the lower seeds making it.
I mean, yeah,
but It's
Yeah, you're
on.
right. Like the FAU San Diego State game was one of the best games of the tournament.
Hmm.
Wait, did you break up for a second?
For a second, but I heard you.
Yeah, okay. That buzzer beater was like you don't just see that very often, especially in a game of that magnitude. The life changing shot. Obviously, that's probably a kid's best moment of his life. The fact that there was no timeout called too, and it just happened so quickly. The game that they were down 14, like that was an amazing game, and so that does hurt my point a little bit. You're still missing out on the marketable players.
Hmm.
Going into the tournament, I couldn't have named you a single player on San Diego State or FAU.
Oh yeah.
Not that like I'm the biggest college basketball follower in the world, but I watch a decent amount and like I stay pretty in tune with the sport. But it does kind of like I'm sure that the viewership numbers were down because there weren't the blue bloods really. Well, I guess now we can say that UConn
So yeah, I think that gets to
has
the.
officially made it into the blue blood.
Yeah, they're definitely, that is a conversation that everyone's been having since this. They they have now had 5 in the past 25 years with 3 different head coaches. So it's not all under one guy. It's not all it's all different. And I think this it has to propel them into blue blood standing. I don't know what qualifies a blue blood. I guess it's just a good basketball team, but they definitely they've come to adversity. They've had many times where they've missed a tournament, or I think they've won one tournament game since 2014 before this run. So there's definitely some moments where they haven't been dominant, but to be able to come back, do it with Dan Hurley now, a whole new group of guys, and that should be, to me, is a blue blood.
They've done it with 3 different head coaches now in
Yeah.
the last 25 years,
Hmm.
which is not something that a lot of programs can say. Like you look at Duke, and that's a team who is a blue blood. They've won 5 championships, and they've all been under Coach K. Look at Indiana. Indiana's a program who used to be a blue blood that was all under Bobby Knight, and they haven't really had that level of success since him. UConn's done with 3 guys, which I think what separates them from the pack. Kentucky's kind of like that. Kentucky's done it with Pitino and Coach Cal, but it's not something you see in college basketball. They have cemented themselves as probably a top 5 program, at least of our lifetime.
Oh, definitely of our lifetime. And you're right. You look at Coach K, that K, Bobby Knight, same thing. So when these programs, can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, cool. All right. When these programs, when they go through adversity, they go through new coaching changes, and can still come out on top and be this dominant of a team. It it puts them in the conversation for of all time as well, for me at least.
So yeah, definitely. And
Uh,
yeah, anyone who was arguing against it, like this, cements them. I think.
so the game itself was pretty sloppy. Uh, the San Diego State had great defense to start it out. UConn really couldn't buy a bucket at the beginning of the game until about 10 minutes until 10 minutes through the first half, when UConn finally started playing their type of ball. They moved in transition. They were fast. They were doing what they like to do, and they also turned up on defense and became a brick wall where San Diego State
Mm.
just didn't even want to take layups during the whole second half. They just didn't want to take layups because uh, Sonogo and 32 Klingland,
Oh,
both were
he's a
just,
monster.
he was so good this game. Every time someone was going for a layup, it just seemed like he was right there to either get the rebound or block the shot. And same with
Mm.
Sonogo. They became clamps that San Diego State just couldn't move around. They couldn't work their offense around it. They didn't get the 3 points that they wanted to, and that was the game. That was the game.
Yeah, and San Diego State's game is like a bruising team. Like they want to get inside and get those tough baskets and score a lot of points off offensive rebounds. So when you match their strength with the strength of your own, and you kind of prevent them from being able to play that way, they're screwed. And like if they have to start hitting shots, they're a team that hasn't shot well all tournament. It feels like all their games, with the exception of the FAU game, have been low scoring. They haven't shot the ball well. Is dominate on the glass. I'm wondering if 12 offensive rebounds was like the least that they got whole tournament, which still sounds like a lot for one game. But yeah, 6 of 23 from 3, 13 of 36 from 2. Just not very good numbers.
Where are you looking at these
and then you look at,
numbers? I see 19 for 59 from 2.
it's probably from the floor,
Oh, okay.
including.
This just says field goal percentage 19 of 52.
Yeah, that's like total.
Okay, all right.
Ken Palm has it split into 2.
That makes sense. Yeah, then that would add up 13. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, sorry, keep going.
But yeah, I mean, UConn is just a way more efficient offensive team, and their strength is at every position.
They
It was another case in this tournament where they just completely outmatched their opponent.
They also seem like the size-wise, San Diego couldn't keep up with them. Everyone on this team is pretty tall. Even Jordan Hawkins and Newton are pretty tall. And when you have Andre Jackson out there, Sonogo, and Caravan, that's just a front that does not let you work the inside of the paint. So great.
I mean, UConn has like 3-4 big guys that would be the best guy on San Diego State.
Oh, definitely. Klingland would be, Caravan would be, and Sonogo. They great threes from Joey California that pretty much sealed the game. The behind the back pass from Andre Jackson to straight to Joey California, and then an automatic 3 was pretty much the sealer in my mind. And that was just such a cool play. It was fun to watch them get back into their own UConn basketball type of running the offense. And once that started popping, there was nothing that San Diego State could do.
It was this is one of the most dominant tournament runs that we've ever seen. Didn't play a game within 10 points.
Yeah,
usually by
that's
halftime,
insane.
like the game was over.
Yeah,
which is wild. But don't take anything away from San Diego State. That was still an amazing run. Obviously, they were not expected to go on hang banners for Final Fours.
I think we both had
them
losing to what's it called? Charleston, College of Charleston.
Charleston, yeah.
Yeah, I had them losing to Charleston. So that's a great run by them. This will be forever in the minds of fans at San Diego State and the program. As you said, they hang banners for Final Fours. So props to them. UConn was just that dominant of a team. And it's funny when you look at their season as a whole. They were so dominant before Big Ten play or Big East play. And then the second it became Big East play, it seems like they lost some of their momentum. They couldn't keep up with the Big East teams. But that is something that I think we should look out for next season. A lesson for next season is that dominant team that is good against all the other opponents, but is iffy against their conference opponents. We should definitely look for them to make a run in March.
And a big winner of the tournament is the Big East.
Yep.
Because they kind of cemented themselves as
they're back.
A legit power conference in college basketball. They are back. A different cast of characters. Creighton is not your typical Big East team, but made a good run. Marquette got knocked out early, but they were a high seed going in. Xavier was a high seed.
Providence.
And they all, Providence was in there, and they all beat up on UConn season.
Yep.
I think UConn lost to every one of those teams that I just listed.
Yeah, so, I think they did.
It really does cement this conference as one of the tougher ones to play in the country.
And now you got to look at St. John's has Rick Pitino, and Georgetown got who they got the guy who they get Cooley. Yeah. So that's a little change around. Providence is getting a new coach. It'll be interesting to see where these guys what the Big East looks like next year. they, as you said, they kind of all beat up on each other during the regular season. Like it seemed like every other day a Big East team would play another Big East team that they played like 2 days ago and either flip the result from the previous matchup. But it's good to have Big East back in basketball. It needs to be. It's one of the staples of basketball,
Mhm.
and I'm glad that they're at full strength now.
Yeah, it's college basketball is better than the Big.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. All right. Any other thoughts on this game before we move on?
It last thing that I'll say from like the gambling perspective of this was like it felt like the easiest pick in the world. Take UConn like from the Final Four on, and then like even the spread last night. It was like it felt like one of the only times where there's a pick that's so easy and it actually works out.
Hmm.
Like that's what I told myself. I was like, just don't overthink
Don't
this. Do
overthink
not
it. Yeah,
overthink
yeah.
this. Yeah, and it actually worked out. So
And that's
I'm
what we
happy
did.
about that
That's what we
for my
did
own
when we were
sake.
doing the Final Four coverage and we were previewing the national championship game. That we couldn't overthink it. We just had to make the clear obvious bet that was right in our face, and you're right, it worked out.
No, doesn't always work out that way, but it's nice to know that some things go as according to plan.
Yep, I agree. All right, next up we have a little. Let's do some MLB, some baseball. How's the first week looking?
For me, good at all. Only
So
one winless team that's still in the league, and it's my Phillies.
so what's going
It's been
on?
a
Is that
horrible start.
they're 0-4. Who have they played? They've
Got
played the
swept
Yankees.
by the Rangers and then lost to the Yankees last
Oh,
night.
they got cooked by the Yankees
You
last night. They've getting cooked by
played
all these
one
teams.
close
Holy
game.
crap.
Yeah. The Sunday night game was close. It was a low scoring game. The rest of the games were blowouts, and they've given up more runs than they have through 4 games ever.
So is that
Oh,
the
I don't know what's going on, but it's scary.
so is the bullpen the problem? Clear. I mean, that's what it looks like.
Bullpen and the starting pitching has been awful. The out
Ugh.
with exception of Sunday night, the pitching as a whole has been atrocious.
Who's
I
been
like
pitching for you guys?
our studs like Nola through opening day, and he was great through 3 innings, and then about just can't talk. 5 runs in the fourth. Pulled him, gave up 4 more runs. Just scored 9 runs in the fourth inning, which I think is the most runs I've ever seen scored in an inning in a Phillies game.
Ugh.
And then Wheeler Saturday got knocked around. Our worst pitcher Bailey Falter through Sunday, and he was actually solid. Then Taiwan Walker, our free agent, through last night, and he got knocked around. So all of our bullpen guys have looked like dog shit too. So I don't know where to go from here. It's still like it's early. Obviously, it's 4 games out of 162, but like everyone else has figured out how to win a game.
Yeah. So coming up, you have the Yankees 2 more times for the series, the first series, both away in Yankee Stadium. Is a win coming in this series, or you're gonna have to wait till the Reds?
I hope to God that a win's coming. Tonight is like we need it tonight.
Yeah.
'Cause tomorrow we have to face Garrett Cole. It's like the front runner or the favorite for El Cy Young. Can never bank on that, especially with how bad Nola looked opening day. Today we both have shitters throwing. It's like Matt Strom, who's supposed to be a relief pitcher for us, and then they're throwing this guy named like Rahman. I'd never heard of him. So maybe we win like a 10-9 game. It's like they're burning through all their bullpen guys, and they all suck.
So
It's like everything has gone wrong.
so we still have a lot of months until Bryce comes back. Is it what's when he does come back, say it's game you know, what is expected? Game 90, game 80, something like that?
Probably around there. I think it's supposed to be around the All-Star break, which would be a little more than halfway through the season.
So, yeah, game like 90, where do you guys need to be record-wise to be able to get Bryce back and hopefully right the ship?
I'd say no more than a few games out of the wild card hunt, which is probably around 500. So it's really not that crazy of a goal looking at. You just need to be in the conversation. Like, don't
Yep.
already have your season written off.
Yeah. All right, so a couple big games coming up for them. They need to rattle off a win first, but they need to get something
Just
going.
give me one.
Yeah. They need to get something
Give me
going.
one.
Well, around the league, any in these first 4 games, any teams shock you? Any teams go below expectations besides your Phillies?
Uh, Seattle's gotten off to a rough start. The Phillies are really the only one who's had that bad of a start. Who was actually good last year. Toronto has had a rough start, 1-3. Cleveland Guardians are 4-1. Look like a World Series team.
There you go.
Took 3 or 4 from Seattle. Weekend, and now they're going to Oakland. So pretty fired up about that.
Angels
looks like a winner. Yeah, Angels stuff for them. They open with the Athletics, who are possibly the worst team in baseball. So they took care of business though. Otani has gotten off to a good start as well. But it really it's so early.
Yeah.
I could overreact about stuff.
Well, there's no need to. Let's overreact about for 5 minutes. Overreact to something.
All right. Mets are 3-2, but they've looked awful. They can't hit. And they got their shit rocked by the Brewers yesterday, which was hilarious.
They tossed Lent. They lost 10-0.
Yeah. I think 7 of those runs were scored in one inning.
Yeah, they were.
The Cincinnati Reds actually look like one of the best teams in baseball right now, at least record-wise. Care business against the Pirates and then the Cubs.
Are the Pirates still awful?
One of the worst teams, so they look great. Yeah, Pirates are terrible.
Yeah, okay. That's what I
thought. Let's see, what else? What else can I look at? Brewers have looked great. Brewers are a team that their lineup was not supposed to be good. They scored 10 runs and 9 runs in back-to-back games. So maybe some sleepers on that team.
How about my Red Sox?
Red Sox are funny because you guys just lost to the Pirates last night. But
great.
Scores of the Red Sox games: 10-9, 9-8, 9-5, 7-6. There's just no pitching. It's like high school baseball almost. Every game's gonna be high scoring.
Just a lot of runs.
So if you guys are up 8-5 going in the 8th inning, you probably have a 60% chance of winning.
All right.
Just on this team's pitching. So I will say that the Orioles Red Sox series was excellent this weekend. And the Orioles going up 10-4 and almost blowing it, and then playing the same exact game the next day. It was a wild series because the Orioles are a very similar team. They're gonna hit, just have nothing that even resembles Major League Baseball pitching.
All right.
So
from
we'll
both
see.
these teams, just expect a lot of runs and not a lot of pitching.
Correct. Which, if you like hitting, they'll be fun.
All right. Cool. Interesting. All right. What else you got?
That's about it. Isn't too much to take away from the weekend. I guess the new rules. Did you see the stats?
I did not.
It's shaved off 25 minutes, I think. Average pace of play.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's got to be good for the game, right? That was the goal, obviously. Hopefully, throughout the season and over the next few years, people will notice that and give baseball another shot. Like I said on last episode, if it grows the game, then I'm all for it. And I notice that much of a difference watching like from the perspective of a baseball fan. It hasn't really changed the game that much to me.
And that's what you should want.
We'll
That's good.
right, yeah, of course. But if it changes it for non-fans, then that's the goal, of course. The only thing I'm worried about is like as the season progresses, pitchers' arms maybe not used to working as quickly and they end up hurting themselves. But that's really my only concern with it. Again, I love the bases. There's been way more stolen base attempts, higher percentage of stolen bases, so love to see that because that's part of the game that like analytics has kind of flushed out.
Hmm.
Numbers say that don't steal, basically. It's not worth it. Now it might be worth it. So I like that. Uh hopefully we get viewer numbers this season. We can ask for.
Sweet. I still gotta lock into a game or two. But and I want to see how fast paced it is for me because that you're right. The target audience is some guy like me who hasn't watched baseball really ever. So
Sports fans, especially people that just like sports and never had the patience for baseball, but will be able to pick it up quickly. It's those people.
all right. Well, we're gonna take the MLB kind of like what we did with basketball and the NBA, where there's gonna be a ton of storylines that come in and out. But we'll just give you these little updates, and come playoff time, we'll really dive deep. So, speaking of the NBA, speaking of diving deep into playoffs, it's the last week of NBA regular season. The play in starts, I think, the 14th. So I guess it's a week and a half. But yeah, so this Sunday is the last regular season games. Then it's the play in. I guess now it's the 10th and the 11th. I thought it was the 14th. But anyways, the standings are looking more of the same on the East side for what we were talking about last time we did one. I would really like to see the Hawks move up to the 7th seed so the Celtics could face them.
Happening.
But I don't think that's happening. The Wizards are pretty much out. Then
They've lost 2 in a row.
That's what we need. That's what we're looking for. Denny's now injured for him. He might be done for the season. Tonight they're not playing Porzingis, Kuzma, Bradley Beal, or Denny. So hopefully more losses coming for the Wizards.
Get me down that draft board. Magic, Wizards, and Pacers all sitting at 34 wins. If we could just lose out, that could be huge.
Yeah, just need to rattle off some losses.
Trailblazers at 33 too.
So
like 4 spots you could move down.
And you're playing the Bucks tonight. Yeah, all these games. I mean, you're right. All these games should be losses. What you want. The one game that seems like it could be for huge tank odds is the Rockets at the Wizards. Their last game. That's gonna be like which team can throw out the worst lineup, and hopefully tank this game. So right now the plan, it's gonna be Raptors, Bulls, Hawks, Heat. Not Nets. Nets are in the 6th seed. And those are going to be some fun games. They're not going to mean a lot because I don't think the Bucks are going to have a problem with any of these teams. And hopefully my Celtics don't have a problem with any of these teams either. But interesting race. It should be fun in the play-in because there's some star players there still on all those teams. On the West side, though, it's still every game matters on the West. The Lakers are pushing their way. They're a game behind the 5th seed. So talking about the Lakers all season to have this turnaround and then end up possibly in the 5th seed, they still got to win up some games. The Clippers got to lose some. The Warriors got to lose some. And
they got the Clippers tomorrow night.
That's going to be a massive game for the standings, massive game for LA. And just looking at the Russell Westbrook experiment and how this whole team was put together kind of on the fly at the trade deadline, it's got to be a great story for if you're a Lakers fan, and you got to love that they were just so down. Like I think they were 2-10 at some point, and now they might make the playouts outright, not even the play-in. But looking at the other play-in teams, Thunder, Timberwolves, Pelicans, Lakers are all in the plan right now. They would be some great matchups, great
That is
basketball.
actually a fun group.
Yeah, that's a great
Unlike
group
the
right there.
East.
And even a team like the Thunder, where they've been tanking the past couple years, you don't really think of much when you think of the Thunder, but they're a great team this year. They're fun. They've gotten through a lot of battles in the West, and it doesn't look like they want to tank. So they're gonna try to make this play in and try to make the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. Um, and the log jam in the West from 5 to 8, and from 5 to 9, like they're all separated by a game or half a game.
It's
It's
incredible.
wild. Like we don't see that very often.
Yeah, it's
Be it like good teams too. The Warriors and the Lakers, teams that have had their ups and downs throughout the season, are at full strength now. They could actually make some noise in the playoffs, but the playoff positioning itself is going to be important.
Yeah, and they all want to make it. There's going to be two teams out that are pretty good, either the Pelicans, Lakers, Timberwolves, or Thunder. Two of those teams are going to be out, and it's funny. That's not even talking about a good team a supposed good team like the Dallas Mavericks, where we talked about them last
Mm.
time. No defense. Uh, they just don't have the defensive players on their roster, and they're a mess. They're a mess. If I was them, I would just continue to try to lose these games, try to finish out the season, even though you're not going to make the play-in. It's a devastating season, especially when you have a guy like Luka Doncic. But try to get better draft odds because you're not going to make any noise in the playoffs, and you're not even right now. You're not even in position to make the play-in. So if I was them, just keep losing, shut down Luka, shut down Kyrie, try to work on some extension or sign and trade or something with them, and just shut it all down.
An absolute catastrophe. Was Irving, is he locked in for next year? Free agent.
He's going to be a free agent still, so he can
Okay.
technically leave. I don't know what team would give him a. Oh, so it says the reports that they're seriously considering shutting down Luka and Kyrie, which is what they should do. All right.
What a disastrous failure.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely disastrous. And when you look at now the Nets, they have a better record than they have the same record as the Suns and a better record by far than the Mavericks. They're a fun team. They're going to be fun in the 6-3 matchup between them and Philly because I think they can actually possibly make some noise for Philly, or against Philly. But that's going to be just a fun matchup between the two. A little Harden, I guess, revenge for his 13 games he played there or whatever. Locks so far, it seems like the Cavaliers Knicks is going to be a lock playoff matchup. Those are two fun teams. The Knicks, the Knicks are back, baby. They're back in the playoffs for the first time since they played the Hawks in that first round and made a big deal about it and then lost. So I'm excited to see what the Knicks fans do this time. I hope they storm the streets again, and I think that's a great matchup between them and the Cavs, where you have Brunson versus Garland and Donovan Mitchell. You have Mobley versus Julius Randle, and it's the first time we're gonna be able to see Mobley, Allen, and Garland in the playoffs. And I'm excited to see what they do. I think Mobley's gonna take a big step up. And I think if that's a series that is locked in right now, then I have the Cavs taking them.
Yeah, it does remind me a lot of that series against the Hawks. It's kind of like this Knicks team that's almost thrown together in free agency versus like the upstart team that made a big splash this offseason, but really has a lot of homegrown talent.
Yeah.
I would also take the Cavs to win the series.
All right.
And get like another Donovan Mitchell sucks chant at the Garden.
Oh yeah. He's gonna be the villain.
Young.
He's gonna be the villain for sure. And I'm excited to see how the Knicks fans react to him scorching their team. last little note that I wanted to throw out there for bettors out there for really anything is that the Suns have not lost a game with Kevin Durant playing. They are plus. Actually, this is way more than there must be a lot of money on them because they are plus 220 to win the Western Conference. And
Right.
I did not. I thought that the Nuggets or someone else would be way better odds, but they're the favorite to win the Western Conference. So keep that in mind when that's going on, and I just hopefully he stays out there and doesn't get injured again because the league's better when Kevin Durant's playing in the playoffs.
That's right.
All right. Other than that, that's kind of all I got for the NBA update. There's been a lot of great games. There's a bunch of great games tonight. We have the Celtics versus 76ers. Hopefully both teams are healthy. Hopefully it's a fun matchup. Kings Pelicans is going to be fun. Wizards Bucks not really. That's really the marquee game tonight. Jazz Lakers will be interesting for seeding wise. And then but the rest of we got what is it? 5 days left. So 5 days of regular season basketball. Then it comes the playoff time. So I'm excited. I
I'm
know.
excited. I'm excited for the full bracket preview.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, like it's not like a huge bracket like the NCAA. But anytime you can get your hands on a bracket, it's fun.
Yeah. It's an easy path. Like you can see it. It's all right there. It's all like a nice easy path.
Mm.
All right. So that does it for the NBA side. Should we do our top 5 or should we run some college corner first?
Let's roll with college corner, and then we'll finish off.
All right. Well,
The top 5 can almost be an extension of the college corner.
it can be. So my women's basketball team, they sadly lost basically single-handedly to Caitlin Clark. They just couldn't stop her. They couldn't keep up with her. They couldn't score with her. It was really sad to see as a fan. It was sad to see her just continue to destroy us the whole game. Aaliyah Boston sadly could not keep up. Only 8 points. Could have seen more from her. They put their heart and soul out into the game though. They did like they did all season. And I mean, Caitlin Clark is the best women's player in the world right now. So it was a feat that it was sad, but it was understandable. 36-1 to end the season. Sadly, could not finish it, but that's okay. Still gonna be a banner hanging, and still love. I'm glad I got to watch them make it this far and play as many games as they did.
Did she listen to the podcast when I called her overrated? That's my bad.
I think you might.
I kind of spoiled that one.
So, speaking of the women's national championship, LSU won the national championship. There was a lot of debate about Angel Reese's hand motions and trash talking towards Caitlin Clark. I thought that was stupid. I thought it was pretty lame to call her out and try to bash her for it. I mean, she just won a national title, and Caitlin Clark was doing that stuff earlier in the games. So there's no reason to get any backlash towards her. My question to you is: Angel Reese, is she Julian Reese's sister?
She is. She was at Maryland last year, and
I saw. Yeah, that's why I asked. So,
yeah.
Well, I guess that's
her. I'm still happy for the family.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Bitter about the transfer, but hopefully it just motivates Juju more.
There you go. So, do you have any thoughts on her pointing to the ring, hand can't see me, stuff like that? I thought it was dumb to have to. I feel like it's dumb that we even have to bring it up right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's two sides to it. Like, as a competitor, I think it's kind of dumb that you're trash talking, like, when you're about to win the national title. Like, I feel like you should just be celebrating with your team. Also, I don't know why people are so outraged about it. I don't know why you really care that much. Like, can you enlighten me? Like, why is it such a big deal?
I think it's just such a big deal because it was just people wanted to make it a big deal. I didn't see it as a big deal at all. Um, and
One
they
person I saw really make a big stink was Portnoy,
Dave's
who I
a
think like loves Caitlin Clark because I think she's a Barstool athlete.
oh, okay. So maybe that's it.
I think
It was
that's
also
why.
it also I hate to bring it up. There's always then afterwards it's always like, well, he's racist and he's because
Yeah.
it's double standards. And it's definitely like that's definitely a possibility. There's no denying it, but I hate talking about that stuff. We hate talking about that stuff. We're gonna move on. But the game itself, LSU dominated. They were a complete team, um, and Caitlin Clark scored 30. Really tried to take the team on her back like she did against South Carolina, but didn't end up working. So what I love about this was just such a huge jump for women's basketball. It got national media talking
Was.
about the game a lot. Um, we got so many people discussing LSU, Iowa, Caitlin Clark. Um, Sadly, not enough. I didn't feel like there was enough love for the Gamecocks, but it was really the last the championship game and then that game where that was the most like the most women's basketball has ever been talked about in my lifetime.
Yeah, definitely. And like, especially like as someone who's on Twitter all the time,
Hmm.
certain topics are being talked about more. And whether it was Caitlin Clark in the Final Four or the trash talking thing, like I've never seen her that infatuated with the women's game. So, especially having a school that has a good women's program, not even on your level yet, but still a program, I think it's awesome. And like it'll only do good things for athletes because they'll have more exposure, which means more money they can make off themselves. The new rules, so yeah, it's great for the game.
Yeah, and I hope this transfers a little bit to the WNBA. I don't know if it will. I mean, people definitely care more about their schools and the schools that are playing than a lot of the WNBA teams. But Caitlin Clark does have another year at Iowa before she's even allowed to declare for the draft. So it'll be exciting next year to have that boogeyman for South Carolina to go up against. And it's going to be
Yeah,
exciting to see what transfers
match.
come help her out. And hopefully this carries on to when she does get drafted to the WNBA uh, to uh, to grow that game more. This was like a Zion level athlete, not athlete, of course. Like they're definitely completely different athletes, but level of player to have in the women's bracket. It was like their own version of like a Zion Williams in the tournament where it's like this is just must
Mhm.
watch basketball and you have to watch Caitlin Clark destroy all these teams.
Yeah, it was like she was Steph Curry.
Yeah, exactly. It was like she was like
She
Steph
was
Curry.
that good.
Yep. And hopefully like Steph Curry is that influential on other women and the game of women's basketball. All right.
I hope she
More
comes to the Mystics.
more college corner.
Cool.
I had the South Carolina got another transfer. They got a guy from the Citadel again, another 1,000 career points guy from the Citadel. Hopefully, add some.
Guard.
It looks like he's a small forward.
Okay.
And his name is Stephen Clark, and yeah, forward. He's a small forward. So hopefully fills some of the role that Gigi will leave going into the pool. And 16 points per game. I like it. And hopefully he keeps that scoring up.
I mean, even at the Citadel, that's
That's something.
a pretty impressive stat line. So, what will he be like a fifth-year senior?
Yeah. Yeah, he will be. He'll be a fifth year
It's
senior.
it's always good to have guys like that have had the experience. I don't know how good the Citadel's been, or if he's played in stakes games at all. But somebody who just knows how to get buckets.
Yeah,
matter what level they've been playing at. Will
reminds
always
me
take.
reminds me a lot of when we got Hayden Brown last year. I mean, same school,
Hmm,
another fifth year senior.
it's
Um,
a pipeline.
it is a pipeline. So, I mean, his field goal percentage was 49 this year. It's been nothing but over 50 the other previous years. His 3-point shooting isn't great at all, and his free throws aren't really great, but gets a lot of rebounds. Literally reminds me a ton of Hayden Brown. So that he was such a great player on an influential player on South Carolina this year. Hopefully, Steven comes in and does the same thing.
It kind of reminds me of Macaulay Culkin.
He does kind of look like Macaulay Culkin. He looks like Mac McClung's like
Is,
stepchild.
yeah.
All right, and
That's
that's all I
funny.
got for my college
Uh,
corner. Oh,
all
actually,
right.
wait.
So
Sorry,
we.
sorry.
Oh,
LSU's coming to town
fix-
Thursday. I'm making my first appearance at Founders Park this year, and I'm excited to watch some
oh, there you
baseball.
go.
Yes, sir.
We got dollar hot dogs tonight at the Bob.
Ah, nice.
So should be exciting. As far as our basketball portal, we haven't made any moves yet. We might be losing another assistant coach to like NGIT, which seems like kind of a bum job, but it's to him for taking a head coaching job. But we have to fill another vacancy because our best recruiter just got hired by George Mason, but hired to replace him Mike Jones, who was the Matha head coach for like 20 years.
Oh,
Been at
nice.
Virginia Tech the last few years, so hopefully that helps. I don't know how it would not help with connections in the area, especially at DeMatha, who they haven't recruited a player from since. Well, Jameer Young went there, but they didn't recruit him out of high school.
Yeah, you gotta
Hopefully
get.
that is good for recruiting
I was
if he
gonna say
hangs
you gotta
around for a
get the
while.
Dematha guys. Like your Maryland,
Um,
you gotta get the Dematha guys.
Matha is literally like if I went up Route 1 and drove a mile, I would pass DeMatha. It's right up the road. Oh, it is ridiculous that they haven't been able to recruit there. But speaking of DeMatha kids, if you saw, but Leonard Dickinson has entered the transfer portal.
Yes, I
And
did, and I saw that. It's huge. It's a huge Maryland pull, and that they're really gunning for him.
so, backstory is I don't know how much we've talked about him on this show, but the backstory is he criticized the program and Turgeon when he was a freshman at Michigan for not recruiting him enough. He went on to have like amazing freshman year. I think he was freshman of the year in the Big Ten. Been their best player the last 3 years. Has continued to like criticize and bitch about Mark Turgeon. Obviously, Turgeon's gone now. They've hired former DeMatha head coach who coached him in high school. Wants to come home. Because I think, like, you always say, like, there's a fine line between love and hate.
Yeah,
I don't think he would have complained about Maryland as much if he didn't want to come play here?
yeah,
Now that bridge is burned. Like, it's not like the Maryland fans are, like, defending Turgeon on this matter. Like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
dude, like, we're on your side here, even
Mm-hmm.
though he got booed. But all in the same, like, nobody likes the guy. He'll be, and if he comes, he'll be the biggest villain in the Big Ten.
That
Already
yes,
kind of is. Like, when an interconference transfer to the school that you've criticized for 3 years would be a wild move. So, my hopes are already up, and I've been, like, obsessively checking our message boards, which really haven't been able to access that much information about it yet, other than they're just waiting to see whether Allen is able to make a run at him. But it's gone from, like, there's no way this is happening to, like, it's a little bit of a rumor. Now, they're probably one of the favorites to land him, which is wild.
and that's awesome for Maryland and your program if you are able to come back and rebuild this bridge with this guy. Um, and just I mean, he's a great basketball player, so just to add that to the core that you already have, would be great for the program.
And it would kind of like send up a signal like, hey, we're back. We're getting these kids again. Like, this is
Yeah.
our home turf.
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 local kids, the 3 guys coming in as freshmen, all from this area. So it's already kind of known they're gonna have a recruiting presence again. Mike Jones' hire is just another step forward in that department, and cap it off with the Dickinson move. That would be amazing. I mean, that would like they'd be a top 10, they'd be top 5 team into the season.
I love how excited you already are.
I know. It's like the season just ended last night. I already can't wait.
Yep.
That's it. Even if he doesn't come, they're still set up well. They're still going to be active in the portal. There's no like, regardless of what happens, they're set up well for this next season and going forward.
That's what I love.
That would just be awesome.
That's what I love. I mean, we've talked about this with football, but it's the same thing with basketball. Is that college sports? You just the second the season's over, you get yourself amped up and hopeful for the next season, no matter really what happens. So that's the best. It's the best feeling as a fan, and it's always makes it fun with all these transfers and everything. That every new guy, every recruit, every transfer is going to be program shifting, and I'm all for it.
And it's not like professional sports where you lose a bunch of guys in free agency, and you replace them with other guys that you sign or like draft picks. You're replacing them with college kids who you've been convinced are like sneaky the best player in the country.
Oh yeah, and
or in a high school competition,
or you're replacing them with the hope of a high school kid with that at that point the potential's unlimited. You know, at that point it's only up from here. So that's I love it, and there's always you can always just go change of scenery, changes everything. Changes everything.
System.
Yep. All right. So now we're going to move on to our top 5. And speaking of College Corner, we're going to be doing our top 5 college meals. As 2 college guys, I know we don't eat the best. So this is always the quickest, the nicest meal that we can always scrounge up in the kitchen. Chris, let's go with your number 1.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. I'm going to go with one that's probably not like a stereotypical one, but one of my go-tos is orange chicken. Ooh. Like frozen sweet and sour chicken.
Yeah.
You literally just pop it in the oven and you warm up the sauce.
Yep, I've done that multiple times. It's awesome. I have an air fryer too. Just pop it in the air fryer. This is going to be a lot of these things are just stuff that's in the freezer that you're just popping in for 10. That's what makes it a college meal. So, yeah, you throw in some chicken. You have the sauce heating up, and then maybe I'll make some vegetables or something to go along with it. Have some nice chicken and rice.
That are also frozen.
Yes, yeah, of course. Have some nice orange chicken. That's a great pick. Similar, I'm going with a classic. Hey, what can you cook? It's chicken and rice. You ask any college guy, what's the one meal that they can cook professionally, and chicken and rice is always going to be the answer. I know a couple of my buddies who are on like a workout protein, like straight grind. They have chicken and rice every single day. I don't have it very often, honestly, because I always just forget to thaw out the chicken beforehand. But the chicken and rice is a staple for college men, and it need to be on the list. It need to be high.
Yeah, I'll just throw like chicken, rice, cheese into a bowl and mix it up.
Yep, call it a day.
Kind of sauce on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very easy, very easy. I'll go with the most stereotypical one as my number 2, which is ramen.
Okay.
Eat it.
Yep.
A quick.
I haven't had ramen. Meal. I feel like in forever. And they're cheap.
So
it's like $1.
I'll expand it to like other ramen / other types of like noodles like that, like cup of noodles or whatever you can get your hands on.
Yeah. My go-to is the mac and cheese, like the Kraft mac and cheese little bowls. Just add water, throw it in for 3 minutes, stir up the cheese. That no, you're right. Any of those quick little noodles that you just throw in something else, some little powder, great, cheap, quick, and always fills me up. All right, next tip, number 2. I'm going with Bubba Burgers. You get the box.
Burgers,
They're
nice.
all frozen. You just throw the patty on the grill, or not even the grill, the stovetop in a pan. Put on whatever seasoning you want. Make yourself a burger. I do that. I swear, like probably 5 times a week. I'll be like, "What do I want for dinner?" I'll just make a burger. It's
I feel like we, as college kids, we just don't get sick of the meals that we eat.
oh, I get sick of it.
I can eat
That's all I got.
them.
That's,
I
that's
really don't. I really don't get sick of, like, especially the stuff at the dining hall. Like, basically every Monday there's buffalo chicken wrap, and I get it every Monday. Only time I didn't is when I
creature of
was having
habit.
like issues, and I didn't want to make it worse.
Yeah.
It even then I was like, I just take the risk. I did it anyway. I will make go to the grocery store and I'll just get like a bunch of chicken, to ground chicken. That's it. That's what I make.
Yep. I
Um,
get, and it's funny too because I'm always like in the grocery store. I'm like, what do I need for dinner? I just need some Bubba Burgers. I'll be just fine. I'll be just
like these will
fine.
last me a while.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is like strategically buying things that will last a while, so you don't have to go back.
Oh, I
Um,
that's why I hate buying like cold cuts or cheese because I'll just forget about it, and then
yeah,
it's like, all right, when I want one, I'll open it, and it's just like destroyed.
yeah. All right, number 3. This is another one where it's like if you ask every college guy like what do they know how to make? Sandwiches,
No, yeah.
like lunch meat
Yep.
on bread and cheese.
Yep. Bread, cheese.
And that's another one where like the lunch meat, you don't buy like the really fresh deli meat. You just buy whatever's in the plastic container.
Oh, yeah.
Lasts like a month,
Mhm.
then you're set.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it's
I
like I for the first week or two living in this house, all I ate was sandwiches.
and it's also it gets to the point where once you're like you don't make a lot of sandwiches for a couple weeks, you just like you open up the fridge and just like all I have in here is just like a bunch of cold cuts that may or may not be destroyed. Like every time you open it up, you give it a little sniff
And
or like you give it a check. Yeah, yeah.
the green? No,
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
yet.
I don't see any green, no fuzz. We're good to go. Um, definitely, peanut butter and jelly is another huge one for me. Love PB and
Yeah,
J, just a classic, a staple. I got those at Costco. They have like the giant bags of like the nice baked, like they're kind of like rolls, but they're in like bread. They're like a square bread shape, and I've just been using that as
right.
hamburger buns, as sandwich
Yeah.
meat things, and I just have them frozen, and I just microwave it for 30 seconds and then put it in the toaster.
I'm another one where like I'm not buying more than one type of bread when I go to the store. Like it's
Oh
either
yeah,
bread, rolls, or bagels.
yep,
I'm not getting a second type.
yeah,
Like
yep,
I'm on a bun kick right now. So anything that needs to go on bread has gone on a bun.
yep. Yep, I agree. Or else, and the reason why I do that is because if I don't, then the bread's just gonna get moldy and it's not gonna get used up unless
Yes,
I throw it in the
exactly.
freezer. Yeah,
Right. But then it takes up space and like
yeah, yeah.
living with other people. Like if it was just me, it'd be fine. I'd keep 3 loaves of bread in the freezer. But you got 6 people sharing that fridge.
Fair enough.
So gotta be
Man,
smart.
6 people in a fridge. I only have three, and I think it's a pain.
Yeah.
All right, next up, another staple: pizza bagels, pizza rolls, pizza bagels.
Oh, okay. I had pizza rolls.
Just
So
yeah,
that's
same thing can be the same thing. Just throw them in the microwave, throw them in the air fryer, throw them in the oven. And you have yourself a meal. Even though it's one of those meals where it's like, is this really what I'm gonna eat for dinner? And then it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna have
well, for
50.
me, it's usually like it's like 10 o'clock and it's like, oh, like I forgot to eat dinner tonight.
Yep, yep,
Like I just don't have time or energy to make something, so it's rolls it is.
yep. That happens to me a lot too, especially I have water polo from like 7 to 9, which is like a terrible
Oh yeah.
time. So it's like I get back, I have to shower, and then I look up and it's 10 o'clock and I haven't eaten anything. I'm like, all right, looks like it's just some pizza rolls or a corn dog or whatever, which we'll get to later on the list. I guess that's a little spoiler, but it was an honorable mention anyways.
Spoiler, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I include stuff that I don't make, or is the goal like
What do you mean? Like, I don't
So,
know. I
like,
don't
it's
care. I think it's
meals.
just college meals. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's just meals.
Meals in general?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me McDonald's then.
Okay.
Like, anytime you're looking for just a cheap,
Yep.
like, nothing even compares to McDonald's in terms of price. So if
I
you're out of
I have a
options,
comparison for you. It's only down here in South. It's Cookout.
is it? Oh,
It's the only other comparison.
sore subject.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I don't think we have. Really, honestly, I could make this one big category of whatever place has like coupon or deal. So like sometimes Domino's would be like, oh, 2 large pizzas for $5.99 each. It's like, all right, that's dinner.
Yep. That's all right.
Um,
I'll actually never mind. I'll keep it separate. I was gonna combine our picks, but I'll keep it separate. They're a little different. You're right. Anything with a deal, you see, even like when you're watching like football or whatever, and you just see like the Pizza Hut ad, you're like, all right, well they got that deal. Like I might as well get some Pizza Hut or something.
that's what we did last year with the Papadillas.
Uh huh.
Like $7 every Sunday. It's Papadilla day.
The
All
I
the
heard
different flavors.
I never had one of those, but I remember I was at Goodwill and the lady checking us out for some reason asked us if we ever had a papadilla and was like, "Those things are great. It's only $7."
They are great.
It's like, all right.
Delicious. And
I
only
didn't know if
seven
she was
bucks.
sponsored or something, but that's what it was.
Papa John's closed though.
Oh, that's a shame.
Heartbreak.
That is sad. All right, my next one. I'm gonna go with a frozen pizza.
The only thing with frozen pizza for me is it takes up too much space.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta buy
Like I
whenever I
if I
get
have
one.
one, I only have one on hand.
That's the thing. If I buy one, if I get a frozen pizza, I gotta eat it like that night, or else the freezer is just
Mm,
not gonna work out. Most of the time it's just like that's like I will go to the store and it'll be like, all right, this is my dinner for today.
yeah,
Grab a frozen pizza, call it a day. But easy, and
very
sometimes you just
easy.
want a nice pizza. And I think the frozen pizzas are pretty underrated. They always come out pretty well.
Pizza is good. Like
Pizza
some pizza's
is
better than
good.
other. All pizza is good. I hate people that are like, oh, I don't like this type of pizza. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
All
pizza's
pizza is
pizza.
good pizza.
I agree. All right, next up.
Glad we're on the same page there. But I will round up my list. The good old lean cuisine. Nice frozen meal. You pop in the microwave. Get meatloaf and mashed potatoes.
It's the TV dinner.
Very simple. Dinner, yeah.
It's the TV dinner.
Out. I usually buy a couple of them. It's not like I'm eating them every night, but
I need to get
always
some.
useful if I'm in a bind.
I completely forgot they existed. That's a great thing I need to add to my repertoire. Lean cuisine.
Cheap too.
Yeah, they're cheap. They're everywhere. They have everything that you could possibly imagine as a meal. So great pick there, Chris. That was a value pick.
Not bad either.
Oh,
Pretty
no.
tasty.
All right, my fifth one, the one I was gonna combine with you, is the DoorDash days, where you're just like, all right,
Mm.
what am I? I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. Let me just spend $20 and get something shipped here. It's always like a bullet you gotta bite. It's like, there's nothing I want
Yeah.
here. I'm just gonna DoorDash something. My roommates DoorDash all the goddamn time. I don't know how they have the money to do that, but
I almost never DoorDash.
I rarely do. That's why
Like,
it's an occasion when I'm like, all right, let's DoorDash something. Let's get something.
you treat yourself. Or that's another one where like sometimes I'll get a coupon.
Yeah, yeah.
From, like DoorDash, it'll be or Uber Eats. Uber
Yep.
Eats sends them out more often. It's like get so and so off if you spend this much money. It's like, all right, well,
Sounds good to me.
not too shabby. Might
Yeah.
as well do it. Because then it's like it usually gets to the point where you're getting the delivery free. So, and it's
I need to
worth it.
figure out why. Like, there's delivery fee, and then there's like tax, and then there's like a service fee. It's like,
Tip.
why you gotta also service fee? Like, come on now, and then tip.
Yeah.
That they do the DoorDash and everything does the drivers dirty because I never tip because it's always I'm already spending $25. I can't tip them $3.
No,
Like
it's brutal.
it's ridiculous. Um, But yeah, that's a classic. Have nothing else
DoorDashing in a
left.
college town is not the way to go.
No, it's not fun.
To drive like 10, 15 minutes out of your college town if you're gonna DoorDash. Just- I tip because I've done DoorDash and I know how annoyed I get when people don't tip. Like, I still don't tip a lot.
Yeah, even when they do, it's not like it's anything big.
It's like $1 or $2. So, get out of find like a wealthy town close to you and DoorDash there.
All right, honorable mentions.
That's 5, right?
Yeah.
So the big one here is Chipotle.
Okay.
I don't go to Chipotle
That's
that
a great
often,
one.
but like everybody in College Park eats Chipotle. Like, Chipotle's wildly popular everywhere, I think. So not that surprising, but it's easily the most popular. Like, all right, time for dinner. I'm gonna run to Chipotle real quick. Line is always takes up the whole store.
Oh, and
Um,
I know at least 3 people that have Chipotle like 3 times a week, at least. So
Exactly.
I definitely get that. The Chipotle craze around college towns are always good, and
It is
it's
because
worthy.
I mean it
It's
makes
worth it.
sense.
Yeah, it's worthy.
Like, you can do it for less than $10, and it's a whole bowl. Like, it's a whole meal.
Mhm.
Spaghetti and meatballs is an easy one, or even just spaghetti.
Yep.
Boil the pasta and throw sauce on it.
Yep.
But the reason I don't do it often is because the pasta sauce like expires once you open it so quickly.
Yep.
Like, I can only have pasta so many times in a week.
That too. It's
And
like
then
I feel like the water just takes too long to boil, and it's like, all right, then I gotta make sure the noodles are fine. I don't know. The pasta for me is I did that a lot last year, and this year I haven't. I don't think
huh.
I've made pasta once. Yeah.
And then my last one that I do is like taco bowls. Like, ground
Okay.
chicken or ground beef is so easy.
Yeah.
Then I don't even like buy tortillas because, like I said, I only get one type of bread. It has been tortillas before, but usually I'll just have chips. Just put it in a bowl and like crush up the chips.
That sounds
Put
good.
like sauce on it.
Sounds good.
It's good, yeah. Viable.
All right. I had honorable mentions. I had corn dogs, hot pockets, and then a classic. Just don't want to cook anything. Bowl of cereal.
Oh, serious.
Yeah.
For that one, mine's a bagel.
Okay.
Just bagel and cream cheese or bagel
Yep.
and peanut butter. Get some protein in there.
The both great out. Those like the bowl of cereal. Like that could be 3 in the morning. You're just like, I'm so
Oh, yeah.
starving, can't sleep.
That's
Let me just get a bowl of cereal or something. Any time of day
fix.
meal.
Yeah, it really is.
All right.
It's making me hungry.
I know. Well, and my list, I feel like has been trumped by yours, and now I feel like I need to eat better. But that's okay.
I didn't think my list had like. We had sandwiches, McDonald's.
No, I know. All right. It was the taco bowls. The taco bowls are what I'm jealous of.
That wasn't even a top 5 pick though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. Well, that
There's
does
some
it.
ground chicken I need a lot though.
Thank you all for listening. On Friday, we have coming up a Masters preview. I'm gonna have to look at some things. I know nothing about it right now, but
I have one day the Masters through, so
oh, will we? I thought it started
yeah,
Saturday and
Thursday.
Sunday. Oh, okay.
Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday. Saturday's the cut, and the field's cut in half for the weekend.
Got it. All right. Well, then I guess.
One of the best weekends of the year. Love the Masters.
So excited for that. Get ready for that. And we'll see everybody come Friday. Thanks again for listening. And thank you if you participated in the tournament challenge. Have a great rest of your week.